Hello everyone, today's video is going to be some brand new squad content. Now, the squad devs were kind enough to let me preview the Alpha v14 assets here. Now, we've got a list of things we're going to go through. First off, we're going to go through the vehicles. As you can see here, we have two brand new vehicles, and they've reworked the T62 in the middle. So, the Challenger 2 is on the right here, and we're going to be showing off its capabilities and its models and its sound and everything like that. We've got the T62 in the middle, which was added last patch, but now has a Dishka turret on top, a shielded Dishka turret, which is pretty dope. And then we also have the brand new BMP added to squad. So, this is a vehicle that a lot of people have been looking forward to. It's the IFV for the Russians that's supposed to, go head-to-head with the Bradley. So, cool thing, we're starting to fill out all the assets here for all the factions, right? Every faction pretty much has a main battle tank, an IFV, and an APC. So, a lot of cool stuff here, and we're going to jump straight into it after that. We're going to be going into the hat for the Americans, which is now the Carl Gustaf, and then we also have the new map, Skorpa, and Territory Control, which is a brand new game mode coming soon. So without further ado, let's jump into the Challenger 2 and show you what that's all about. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we've got the Challenger 2 in front of us. It's got a couple decals on the side, these eye markings, which are really cool. It looks battle-worn. It's amazing how much character OWI has put into these vehicles nowadays. I can remember the old Strikers, the old MRAPs, they look so plain and just so factory new. Now they've got backpacks on the side, you got camo netting, you got RPG nets, you've got all this cool stuff on these vehicles, and then the detail on the textures of these vehicles is just absolutely outstanding. So we're going to jump in here and showcase what we've got. So, of course, you're going to need crewmen to operate this vehicle. As all the tracked vehicles do have the smoke generator, the Challenger 2 is no different. You do have that smoke generator to trail smoke behind you. If you move into the gunner seat, you are going to have a different couple types of ammo. First, we've got armor-piercing Sabo, 120 millimeters. Let's go ahead and fire a couple rounds here. That round travels so fast. Oh my god. Yeah, the travel distance on this round is crazy. You can see you've got the on-screen range finding. Fantastic round. Wow, that travel time is absolutely insane. You can hear that turret ring as it moves. Turn on stabilization. Of course, it's going to come with that stabilization for when you're on the move and want to get some shots off. But, yeah, really cool vehicle being added to squad. I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to this, a lot of you British guys as well. Does have Hunter-Killer, just like all the other tanks and IFVs with Crow systems. So we're also going to move on to the high-explosive Squash Head. 120mm, of course, again. And let's try to hit this guy right here. So yeah, you've got AT and HE capabilities on this thing. We're going to fire around close to us and see if they've changed any animations or sounds here. Seems about the same for the other MBTs. Now, the Challenger 2 also comes with smoke, which is really, really cool. I love using smoke in tanks, because I think it adds a lot more variability and adaptability for the vehicle. Now, you see me use smoke a lot in Postscriptum with the 75mm Sherman as well as the Firefly. I think it's great for tank versus tank combat, and I think it's great to help infantry out as well, because now you'll be able to fire smoke and trail smoke from the Challenger 2. We're going to move on to the gunner seat. This is the assistant gunner seat. It's got an L3782 RWS on it. Very similar to the American Crow system, however, it does not have the triple zoom like the Striker does. So just something to note there. You do have range finding on this as well. And then, of course, let's go with the commander seat. So commander seat, once again, like I said before, you will have that capability to hunter kill for your team. But you do not have control over any gun systems. You can see the Crow system right here, the main gun right here. You got the smoke launchers in the front. Which will be controlled by the gunner. We forgot to showcase that, so we'll jump over here and do that. Let's go do smoke. 40mm smoke launchers, pretty standard for all the main battle tanks these days. So that's pretty much everything in the Challenger 2. There is a small bug where the UI for the gun stays on your screen, but we can drive this around a little bit. You can see how fast it goes. Sounds of the engine sound pretty standard to, that of the Warrior and the Bulldog. so nothing too different here. Pretty nimble vehicle. About on par for, I'd say, the rest of the main battle tanks. So with that out of the way, we'll return back here, and we'll jump into the brand new BMP and showcase that off. Alrighty, guys, we're now back with the BMP-1. It looks very similar to an MTLB, except the top, of course, is rocking that cannon. We also have some kind of missile up here. We're going to hop in and see exactly what we've got going on. So we'll jump into the driver's seat. We've got ammunition of 600, which is standard for the IFVs and APCs. We've also got the standard smoke generator that comes on most of the tracked vehicles. We're going to turn that engine on, see how it sounds. Pretty good. You got pretty good visibility here from the driver's seat out of about 5 viewports here. Check out the speed. Seems pretty standard for a tracked vehicle, similar to that of the MTLB here. We're going to jump into the gunner seat and see what we're rocking with. Alright, so we've got a PG-15V high explosive anti-tank round here. And of course, we're going to use that rangefinder again. That sounds amazing. That sounds absolutely amazing. So this cannon is going to scare the crap out of infantry. Let's put another round on. Let's try to hit the 12. Nice. And then of course we'll drop a round right in front of us. See if the explosion of this round is any different from the others. Seems pretty standard. Smaller if anything. We've also got an OG-15V fragmentation round, which you'll probably be using against infantry. So you can see that is a smaller explosion, but more fragmentation going up, obviously. Yeah, very cool round. And then we'll switch to the we've got another anti-tank wire-guided rocket here, or missile. So we'll fire this, see how the speed compares to the Conqueror's TOW and the Cornet. A bit slower. I think it's a bit slower than the Conquerors and the Cornet. I think it's maybe even a little slower than the TOW as well. But it's cool to see another TOW, or not TOW, but wire-guided anti-tank asset. Because I think these are so satisfying to land shots with. Fire another round there. I like that ejection sound. Very cool. Cool. You only get a 2x zoom here. Or not 2 times, but 2 zoom levels. I believe this one is maybe 6 times. And then, of course, you've got the PKT coax machine gun. Standard, nothing new. We've seen that before. Let's switch to the third seat here. See if there's anything new in here. Commander seat, you do not have stabilization here. You do not have hunter-killer capabilities. So it's a little bit more on par with that of the BTR-ish. Or an MTLB. This is pretty much a souped-up MTLB. So that's pretty much all we've got for the BMP-1. This comes in 2 variants, the Insurgent and Militia variant. So both of those factions will be getting the BMP-1. Very cool stuff. And then finally, we'll showcase off the new T-62 Dishka shielded turret. And then we'll jump straight into the American hat and then showcase Skorpa. Alright guys, so this is a T-62. We all know it, we all love it. We've been playing with it since Alpha 13. But we're just going to jump in here into the shielded Dishka real fast to show you guys what that's like. It's pretty much like every other Dishka. You do have a solid amount of rotation here. 360 pretty much. And then you can actually zoom in just like every other Dishka as well. So nothing too new here, but it's a cool addition to the T-62 to add a gunner on top with a shield. A reminder that you can ride shotgun in the T-62. I really wish that they added this feature to the other vehicles, but oh well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't think it's pretty standard to have you know, conventional troops from First World armies on these tanks, but it's cool to see the militia and the insurgents using the tanks for transport as well. But that's pretty much all we've got for vehicles. We're going to move into the American hat and then finally check out Skorpa. Okay, so right now we've got the American Heavy Anti-Tank class, and one thing I forgot to mention is that they've updated all the M4s to more modern models. You can see here that they've updated the entire model of the M4, and they've also added a non-functioning peg to the front, just, you know, for that extra immersion. So it's really cool to see that on there. It doesn't actually do anything in-game, but I mean, hell, it looks operator as fuck. So we're going to pull up the M3 Carl Gustav, heavy anti-tank. You get 2 rounds with the American hat. It does come with an optic here, so you can range it if you'd like. We're going to try to hit the 150. And right on the money. Things got a really fast travel time. 2 rounds, so you're going to be able to handle a lot of the vehicles. And it's reloadable, not like the AT-4s. So, really cool to have. And then, of course, you do actually get to carry smoke rounds for this thing, too. So, this is an interesting thing here. We don't really have too much range smoke aside from the grenade launchers, which are only, like, pluming smoke. So, to have a smoke that you can actually fire, this is really interesting for gameplay. It's going to be really interesting because you're going to be able to smoke off buildings at distance and really give your infantry more adaptability versus tanks, vehicles, and other infantry. So we're going to be looking at Skorpa territory control now. Now, first off, this is just a small layer of Skorpa. There are different layers that cover different areas of the island, as well as, RASV1, which is going to have the largest playable area of Skorpa. So once again, just looking at territory control right now, which is just concerning this one valley on Skorpa. And as you can see, it's a beautiful map. A lot of vastly different terrain areas and altitudes. We have really high peaks. We have a low valley here. We even have a coastal area, which is flatter. It's just got a lot of interesting engagement ranges here, because you can be engaging people CQB within the towns, or you could even be engaging people hundreds of meters from this edge of the valley across it. So I think this is going to be a really amazing map for replayability and dynamic gameplay because of the varying terrains, but I also think that this game mode, as we look into it, is going to offer a lot more replayability as well. So this is territory control on Skorpa. You have the Russians up north, and you have the US down south. Now, as you can see here, there are hexes. Red hexes are enemy hexes, blue hexes are friendly hexes. All the white hexes are hexes that are not able to be capped yet, or not capped yet. These white hexes right here that are numbered, however, are cappable hexes. Cappable hexes become unlocked as you unlock the ones that are attached to the previous set. So if we get 18 and 11, we'll unlock this set at D621, and so on and so forth. So you're gradually gaining more and more territory, as the name suggests, down until you hit a middle front line. So eventually both hexes, red and blue, will reach an area where they will connect with another, and that's when the front line will form. And I think you'll get a bigger sense and a stronger sense of a frontline engagement with territory control rather than AAS and even invasion, because you will have to hold the line. There will be a very definitive line that players on either team will be gravitating towards to push the favor of the map in their direction. Now, the interesting thing about territory control is that while the engagements and battle is concentrated around a certain area when the tiles meet, you're not locked to move in that area. You could flank around the right where there are no zones, or flank around the left through the hills. You can have full movement within the map, but all the combat is going to be located in one area. So it's not going to be locked into a linear style of play, which I think is absolutely incredible. To have a game mode which allows for an immense amount of replayability and dynamic gameplay, but still, like, pushing the players into areas where they're going to be fighting. I think that's going to be great for gameplay. So that's territory control. Once again, this is a small slice of Skorpa. We'll continue showcasing this small slice before we move on to the whole island overview, which is probably going to take a minute because this map is freaking huge. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of buildings here. You got open fields. You've got some micro terrain here, as you can see. A little less than what I would hope for, but I like how these aren't just blank fields. They do have some form of, cover in the form of these hay barrels right here. Or I don't even know what these are. I think these are covered things of hay. I don't know what they are. I have no idea. We've got a little industrial area over here. We've got the coast. And even on the coast, there's an island you can reach. Just a small little island. This is going to be amazing for squad ops, like hosting events on this map. Because of all the different places we can go, we can have like a whole campaign on one map. And as you can see, this coast spans all the way down. There's even another industrial shipping zone over there. So definitely a lot of cool stuff on this one layer alone. And like I said, once we switch maps and go to the larger zone, you're going to see how big Skorpa actually is. So we're going to do that now and showcase the rest of Skorpa. Okie dokie, guys. We're back on the Skorpa RAAS V1 layer, and this layer is absolutely massive. So, as you can see, the territory control layer was this slice. This is the territory control layer. Skorpa is actually this big. Now, this entire north area used to be playable, this entire North Island, but it's since been turned into just an environment static, just to save on performance, and I don't know. They're still trying to figure out what they want to do with this northern strip of terrain. But technically, they could make it playable. All of this, however, is 100% playable. All the way down here, you can see there's a tunnel. All these open fields. Even more terrain further west of the US main here on this map. All this mountain you can go up to. That industrial zone from earlier. We've got that valley from the territory layer. Like, this map is just, I can't even, words can't describe how big this layer is. We've got, like, a mini valley over here. Like, look at how long it's taken me to travel this. Now, I have to say, I am a little concerned for the travel times. I don't want the majority of my time on Skorpa, like, running back and forth from point A to point B. I think when helicopters come out, this map is going to absolutely shine. But until then, I am a little worried that this map, the travel distances might be just a little bit too big. We've got like a little prefab fob here. A bridge here with that tunnel that literally goes through the mountain, as you can see on the map. This tunnel will literally go all the way through the mountain and come out the other end. It's absolutely insane the amount of work that you can do on this. One thing I have been thinking about is the applications of using this for events, right? Like our Squad Ops One Life events. Like, having a sandbox map like this big is fantastic, because we can have operations all over this thing. We could even have one campaign that stretches from one side of the island to the other, like over multiple weekends. That's how big this map is. I'm really hyped for this map in a sandbox kind of environment. In a gameplay public match environment, I am worried for what this is going to look like until helicopters do come out. It's going to be, like, you can see how long it's taken me to fly in admin cam over this map. And now you're talking about, like, vehicles and stuff that might get stuck or might get blown up on the way. Could be a problem. Could also not be a problem. So, I'm excited, though. You've seen all of this before already. We're going to go up and see this little prefab up here, which has an absolutely amazing view of the entire valley. Like, look how long it's taken me to fly up here. You got a little farmhouse right here. I do wish there was a little more micro terrain, like more logs or ditches and stuff like that, just so that there's more cover. But I mean, the engagement ranges on this map, it shouldn't really matter, because you're fighting so far away. So, like, you saw where we flew over from. You can literally be on the top of this mountain with a Cornet or a Toes or a main battle tank and start lobbing shots literally clicks away from the enemy. So here we are at the prefab. You can see so far out there. That's all playable area. This is all playable. What we're looking at right here. You're going to be able to see players and vehicles and stuff that far out. You can see the entire valley from here. Skorpa is massive. And then, of course, we've got the eastern side. A little less polished than the western side, of course. But still, like, the sheer size of Skorpa is absolutely stunning. And, of course, they do have this whole northern area that they can play with if they so choose to, you know, texture that out and add assets to it. But that's Skorpa, that's territory control. You saw the new US M4s, the new hat kit with the Carl Gustav. Got to see the BPM-1, or BMP-1, excuse me, the Challenger 2. A lot of cool stuff coming in V14, and it's coming really soon. So keep your eye out on the Join Squad website. Check your Steam announcements. It's all coming real soon. But with that all out of the way, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy today's squad video of the preview of everything coming in Alpha V14. Updates, they say, are going to be faster and faster these days, so I'm really excited to get more content. And we'll see how Skorpa plays. I'm excited to have the Challenger 2 in. BMP-1 was pretty much needed versus the Bradley. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. and I'll see you in the next one.